Hi, my name is Diana Dansereau.
And I'm Brooke Wyman.
And we're talking today about our critical participatory action research study, where we developed a curriculum of Montessori shelf works devoted to encouraging children to develop their perception and cognition skills around sound and music. Our project began when we identified a perceived inequity in Brooke's classroom. We noticed that most of the work involved the tactile sense and the visual sense, with very little works pertaining to sound perception. And we felt that not only does that favor one way of experiencing the world, but it favors those children who are naturally inclined to learn with tactile and visual sense and not the sound sense.
So essentially finding materials that could be authentic to the Montessori way of teaching and be on the shelf to be child explored and child driven, but also be a purposeful curriculum and show growth and development. We came up with this set of works along with tactile visual materials to incorporate that auditory experience.
So our project right now focuses on 6 shelf works. The first thing we needed to do was create a device where children could easily listen to these sound sources and swap out sound sources to make comparisons. 5 of the shelf works focus on pitch development. The most basic one involves just listening to 3 different pitches and discriminating between which are higher, which are lower. If you can see this little girl here, she's working with this pink circle, and she would then make a decision about its height by placing it into the pitch height tree. So that was the most basic of our pitch works. The second one involved children listening to sliding pitches, so hearing whether the pitches moved up or moved down or moved up and down. And then they had 2 different ways of manipulating objects to evidence their understanding of the melodic direction. We found a perfect significant correlation between their scores on those 2 works, indicating that they demonstrated similar capacities for the underlying processing skill, despite what we asked them how we asked them to demonstrate it. The third pitch work involved listening to a melody and identifying whether the melody generally moved upward or downward or both. And then the pitch works culminated when the children listened to an entire piece of music and made decisions about how the melody moved. In this case, it was the movement Kangaroo from Camille Saint-Saëns's Carnival of the Animals. And here we have the work. Each piece of wood represents a pitch moment in the piece of music, and the little girl is hopping a kangaroo along this trail to demonstrate her understanding of how the melody is moving, and she will finish the trail on the last note of the piece. We also found, unsurprisingly, a significant main effect for age, with our older children outperforming our younger children. Did you want to say anything else?
Just was neat to see the children be able to use that auditory sense without me at circle time singing a song, and their interest in doing that work was surprisingly well received.
We found evidence of what we're calling absorption or audiation stare. This little girl is showing us that she is transfixed and thoroughly processing the sound she's hearing, and she's demonstrating this with her open mouth, her wide eyes, and sort of a long distance stare. She's very hard to distract, and this is the look of a child who is deeply perceiving and thinking about aural stimulus. So we saw a lot of that in the classroom, and that's not something we would normally see. We also heard a lot of vocalizing as the children worked through these shelf works. They would sing, or they would use their voices to demonstrate what they were learning and also to share their learning with others. So it's been an exciting process, and we have works planned around effective response and movement, as well as tempo and dynamics and other musical elements.